Right now at 6, a new push to strip the North Carolina High School Athletic Association of the power to regulate sports. A bill moving through Raleigh could change the way high school sports work in the state. And good evening to you at 6. I'm Brian Blakely.
And I'm Alicia Barnes. Well, Queen City News anchor Casey Jones has been combing through the 10-page bill for us.
Yeah, Casey, what specifically is in this bill?
A lot. To start, right? It's a comprehensive bill that includes a lot of controversial topics like the name, image, and likeness policy and also transgender athletics, all packed into this one bill. And it would also strip the High School Athletic Association and give the power to the Board of Education to control school sports.
1, 2, 3.
Public school sports may soon change in the Tar Heel state. The North Carolina High School Athletic Association could lose its power. The nonprofit board of directors is made up of 24 school and athletic administrators statewide. The group makes the official rule books and standards for high school sports. Q Tucker is the commissioner.
The High School Athletic Association is about the business of providing education-based athletics. Is that we're trying to provide teachable moments for our young people who participate in our programs, because we know that one day they will graduate and they will step out as citizens.
The school athletic transparency bill would take the power away from the athletic association, making the Board of Education responsible for sports. Current law allows the State Board of Education to override the NCHSAA.
We haven't even completed the first year of having operated under the Memorandum of Understanding after the passage of House Bill 91 in the fall of 2021.
A group of 20 Republican senators sponsored the new legislation that would change who regulates school sports. 7 of the senators live in the Charlotte viewing area. All of them ignored or denied my request for an interview. Senator Vicky Sawyer tweeted after the name, image, and likeness policy passed, saying, "The NCHSAA continues to overreach their authority and infringe on the rights of parents and students. They have no right to tell my family who owns my child's image and likeness. That's why I filed SB 636 to provide transparency in high school athletics."
And I just want to be sure that everybody understands this policy is not designed to allow student athletes to get paid to play for a school. It's designed to give some structure, to give some guidance.
The bill also gives the State Board of Education the authority to decide if transgender athletes can play sports. NCHSAA already has a committee that reviews those requests on a case-by-case basis.
It's not about us trying to be power grabbers. We're not trying to be rich. We're not trying to do anything that is not public. And if there's anybody out there who wants to call and talk to me about what we're doing, I will talk to them just so we can save the NCHSAA and these opportunities for our student athletes.
The school athletic transparency bill passed the Senate. Now the House Rules Committee reviews it and decides if or when it should head to the floor for an official vote.
All right, so we have some answers tonight. The question I have for you is, how does this impact the policy that allows high school athletes to make money on NIL deals? And that policy was supposed to start July 1st. So explain that.
Yeah, great question here. So this actually, the commissioner says that right now student athletes could already make money off their name, image, and likeness. The point of the policy was to add some structure. So even though the policy is not in effect, the commissioner says it could be the wild, wild west out there. But again, students are still allowed to make money off their name, image, and likeness. The whole point of the policy, again, was to add some structure so students won't get exploited. Either way, there is nothing standing in the way from a kid cashing in on a brand deal right now, regardless of whatever happens with this legislation.
Yeah, it also seems like it's going to strip the power away from this whole athletic association and make them obsolete, put people out of jobs and not really have anything to do then.
Yes, and you know, these are supposed to be the experts, right? The
Yeah.
athletic association, they're the experts. So how could the Board of Education tell you what to do with sports if the athletic association can't, right?
Bigger government coming in here to take over high school sports on this. All right, and a lot to talk about, and certainly, especially when it comes to the transgender item in that bill as well.